What's up, y'all? How you doing? How you doing? It is time for the weekly forecast. Weekly forecast time, man. So for those of you who want a personal reading, the information on how to go about scheduling one is down in the description of this video. Other than that, I don't have anything to babble about. So let's just jump right into this. I want to find a deck that'll talk to me, though. Nah. How about this one? Okay. That'll work. Good old Smith Waite. The classic. All right. Oh, man. Man, Aries, before I even got to say what sign I was on, that card already jumped out. I must be pulling some serious Aries energy there. I'm not going to speak on that yet. Let's just see what messages Aries needs to hear the most. What messages do Aries need to hear the most, universe, for the week? Last week of May. Ooh. Is that you, boo-boo? Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm seeing a couple of different things here. I'm seeing some past energy and some new energy here, both. I don't know if you're inquiring about a past person or not, but I do think that there is a past person inquiring about you. But I think the majority of you aren't worried about a person from the past. But for those of you who are, if you're wondering if there's going to be communication, I think the person from the past is too afraid to come forward and communicate with you. Could be a fellow Aries for some of you, but I think you intimidate that person. So they may be worried that you're still mad at them, waiting for you to let your guard down. But here's the thing, though. Even if you are inquiring about a past person, whatever it was that happened between the two of you put a permanent dent in the connection. So even if you was to come back together with this person, it wouldn't be the same, like at all. At all. I'm seeing you about to jump headfirst into something new, though, honestly. Yeah. I'm seeing you about to jump headfirst into something new, but it does look like the next person coming in is a person that kind of is making you take a step back and try to think about whether or not this is something that you want to work on. Because it could be an air sign for some of you, but it's somebody that doesn't really look like they're really emotionally involved. They kind of feel a little bit cold, closed off, detached. King of Swords, King of Pentacles. So, and this is the card I was talking about. So you're kind of taking a step back, not 100% sure if you should jump in head first or just remain single. Some of you, I think a lot of you actually, are really starting to seriously think, you know what, maybe I should just be single. Maybe I just don't need the drama. You know, at the end of the day, what's worse? Being single and happy, or being in a relationship with drama and arguing and controlling and bitching and complaining and all that nasty energy? I don't know, man. That doesn't really sound tempting. Being alone and by myself sounds better than that. Some of you are, for the first time, starting to really think along those lines. Some of y'all got a Pisces headed your way, though. Okay. Well, that's kind of weird. That was a weird way to start the video off. Let's see. What's the overall outcome for Aries for the week? What's the overall outcome? Something new coming in, something from the past coming back. Uh-oh. That's past energy right there. That's past energy. But, the Two of Wands is reversed. So now I'm feeling like you're making a decision to turn your back on the past. But it also feels like you're making a decision not to have a new start in love as well. Looks like some of you are making the solid decision with the Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, to just stay single and do your own thing. Like maybe I'm thinking that whoever this is that you connect with next, you just don't have any faith in that situation. You just feel like it's a waste of time. So you're putting your priorities in order and choosing to stay single, stay by yourself. Is there any advice? Any advice for Aries? What's the advice? That doesn't sound like it needs advice. That sounds like a very wise way to handle the situation. Yeah, man. Just take a break then. Take a break, relax, meditate. Don't just jump straight into anything. I'm also not saying step back and don't do anything, but don't just jump straight into anything. Just anytime anybody tries to make their way into your life, I don't care if your Facebook inbox dings and you get, hey, sexy, or if somebody strikes up a conversation with you in line at the store. Don't just jump headfirst into anything. Anytime anyone makes their way into your life, think it through, take a step back, keep them at a healthy and respectable arm's distance while you pay very close attention to the energy. You want to pay closer attention to how a connection makes you feel. See, a lot of people like to do it backwards. A lot of people put more energy into how they feel about a person and not that much energy into how the connection makes them feel. And that's the reason why so many people are in relationships right now where they're losing sleep. Every time they talk to the person, they walk away and anxious, pissed off, upset, mess, because they're not paying attention to how the connection makes them feel. Anytime you hang around anybody, anytime you have a conversation with anybody, anytime you spend time with someone, pay attention to how that energy feels. And then make your judgment from there. And if the energy don't feel right, there ain't nothing wrong with taking a step back and just going solo for a little bit. Trust me, the universe is not a dumbass. You are not going to pass up connecting with your actual person when you're on that frequency. You have to get on the frequency to align with that person, but as long as you are matching the vibration of being whole, fulfilled, and complete, the universe will make sure you connect with that person one way or another. Promise you that. All right, Taurus. What messages do we have for the Taurus collective for the week? What messages do we have for Taurus? Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, the Devil card. Some of y'all coming out of a toxic ass situation. For some of you. I don't know if this is something that you're about to walk away from or something you already walked away from. And I feel like the majority of the Taurus collective is probably not surprised at all to see that card. That's the Devil, by the way. This is the Miss Cleo deck. One of my favorites. And it came out reversed. Some of you could have dealt with a Capricorn, possibly. Let's shuffle this up 2 more times and lay a spread out. 1 and 2. Man, same thing for you. 9 of coins. Some of y'all are very fiercely independent, or so it seems. See, the Nine of Pentacles is one aspect of independence. It's the aspect of independence in which you appear to be very independent. You look independent from the outside in. See what I'm saying? But whoever this was you dealt with, you and this person are karmically tied. Okay? So, yeah, this feels like this is all past energy right here, dude. Sorry, this is past energy. So whoever, even if this was something that happened a year ago, you're still karmically tied to whoever that was that you dealt with in the past. There's a karmic tie there. And it's really slowing things down and preventing a new start because the vibrational baggage is very, very heavy. Very heavy. So I think a lot of you are pretty much to the point where you're giving up and not waiting on that anymore. But the vibrational baggage is still there and it's still unprocessed. So, okay. Are you ready or not, though? You're about to start a whole new cycle. This probably needs to be dealt with. Let's see who's coming in next. Who's due to come in next? It looks like there is a blockage preventing what's due to come in next. Let's see. What's due to come in next for Taurus? What's coming in next? What's due to come in next? Okay, so the next person coming in, be ready, because this person is not indecisive. They are not flaky. They are not shady. Okay, the next person that comes in is all about serious business, not playing no games. Queen of Pentacles. And this person's very fiercely independent too, just like you. One of the very first things that you are going to notice when you connect with the next person coming in is that you communicate with them better than anybody you've ever communicated with, ever. But like I said, the only thing that's blocking this person from coming in is unprocessed vibrational baggage from the past. And I get it. I don't want to make it sound like you should just be able to flip a switch and let go of the past. It don't work that way. I actually do, for those of you who haven't checked it out, I do have a whole course on the true steps to healing. It breaks it all down, how to transmute the energy so that you can release it. But that is something that is blocking the next person that's due to come in. I also think that the person from the past is throwing some negative energy at you. But yeah, the next person due to come in is your person, bro. First thing you're going to notice is that you and this person communicate better than you've communicated with anybody. And you have to think, the best verbal communication, the best communication doesn't require verbal communication. Like, you'll notice that with this person, you can just speak one word to them. They can speak one word to you. You get a whole download, a whole conversation with one word. What's the advice here? What is the advice? What's the advice? There's that karmic tie again. There's that karmic tie. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be glowing, floating on a cloud, and radiating light before you can attract this person in. I'm not saying that. But if you could let me use the radio analogy, okay? You are tuned in to 93.1, and your person is tuned into 107.7. Okay, you don't have to be all the way tuned into 107.7. But right now you're holding on to some baggage that has you trapped on 105.1. So all you have to do is just release enough vibrational baggage to just start to barely start tuning into 1077, and you and this person can still connect. Okay. Some of y'all need to get some closure. I don't know how long ago this was, but some of y'all need to get some closure. Now, I think this message here is mainly aimed at those of you who dealt with something that was a while back, a year ago, 2 years ago. Okay. If you're still carrying the vibrational baggage of the person that you was with 2 years ago, it's time to get some closure. Just shoot them a closure message. That's what I would do. Just shoot them a closure message. And don't even pay attention to the response if you don't want. You wouldn't think that that would do very much, but I promise you, shooting a closure message like that will drastically alter the trajectory of your path. Drastically. Drastically. And even if it only alters your path 1 degree, though, with time, that will drastically alter the trajectory of your path. Promise you that. All right, Gemini. Whoa. Happy Gemini season 2, by the way. Happy birthday to my Gemini friends. So, right off the bat, Gemini, we got that 9 of Wands popped out there. So, let me see what that's all about. That's somebody with their guard up. Somebody here is very guarded. Okay. Kind of feeling like somebody from the past is trying to work something out with you. But I think you're giving up hope on this because you know this person is an emotionally manipulative game player. So you're giving up hope on it. You're giving up hope on that. You don't have a very positive outlook on that, but I think they're trying to come forward. They've been doing things to try to get your attention. You know they're probably going to try to come forward and apologize, but it's not a genuine apology. It's an apology that is mainly based around manipulation. You know, there's a difference between genuinely being sorry for something that you did wrong and apologizing just to manipulate the situation in your favor. You know, big difference. Big difference. So some of you dealt with an Aquarius, possibly. I also have Sagittarius here. Let's see. Queen of Swords. Yeah. You're keeping your head on straight when it comes to this situation, aren't you? You ain't fucking around. You ain't playing no games. You know they're going to try to play some games, though. You know they're going to come forward and try to clear the air with you, but you ain't no dumb. You know that they playing games. Thank you for the super chat, DHW. Appreciate you. Let's see. What's the overall outcome for Gemini? Overall outcome, yeah. I think somebody gonna try to break the silence. But you're not responding, are you? Yeah. See, you already know. You already know you ain't responding. What's the advice to this situation here? What is the advice? Don't create more karma. Don't do it. I see that all the time in my line of work. I see that all the time. Client will come to me dealing with a situation that was karmic in nature. And very frequently, they have successfully completed and cleared that karmic contract. But they're still energetically tied to the person, still going back and forth, thus creating more karma. So could you imagine that? You done came to planet Earth 100 fucking times working on one karmic contract. And then you finally clear the shit. And then you end up creating and piling more karma on top of it right after you cleared it. Could you imagine that? Fuck that shit. Now, for those of you who are wondering, no, this person has not changed. Yes, they still on some bullshit. Yes, they still playing games. So, yeah. Telling you, don't do it. It will, for those of you, because I know there's one or two of you that ain't going to listen to me, and that's fine. That's totally fine. If you don't really believe me and you don't really understand why I'm saying what I'm saying, you're better off not listening to me. You're better off going through it and learning for yourself. So, but for those of you who don't listen to me, Rich don't know what the hell he's talking about. He's a dumbass. He's an idiot. He's always reading negative readings. He's an asshole. That's cool. That's cool. Go ahead. Go ahead. It will manifest into a repeat cycle. You're going to go through the same cycle you went through last time. You're going to end up right back in the same position that you're in right now. And that's cool. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you what, repeating toxic cycles has created more wisdom than anything. I'm going to tell you what. All right, Cancer. Cancer. Cancerians. What's good with the Cancerian collective? No, this deck's not wanting to talk to me, man. I like that one, though, so that's kind of a bummer. How about this one? Smith-Waite Borderless. This is actually my favorite Smith-Waite deck. All right. Yeah. Smith-Waite never disappoints. Okay. All right, Cancer. What messages do we have for the Cancer collective? Who's that? Who's that? Is that you or is that them? Hang on. 3 shuffles for the 3 of Wands. 2 more. Man, some of you, not all of you. So if this isn't you, just hang on a second. But I think probably half, if not most of you, are dealing with a situation with somebody you've been on and off with. Right now, it's looking like you're currently off. But even if it wasn't on and off, somebody is still waiting on a return. Somebody is. Some of you dealt with an Aries. I have Aries, Cancer, and Virgo here. And y'all have heard me say a million times, Aries and Cancer is probably the most common energetic mismatch that I see come through my line of work. The most common. Every single Aries and Cancer combination that I have ever seen is always on and off and 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 on and off. I see it all the fucking time. I know that's not all of you though, so just relax. But regardless though, somebody is still waiting on you to make a return. I think this person's waiting to hear from you. And with the 3 of Wands, this means in their mind, they're convinced. They know in their mind that you're coming back. You know what I say? Have you done this before? Why would they be so sure in their mind that you're coming back? Why? Some of you dealt with an Aquarius. Yep. 7 of Swords reverse. Somebody's waiting on an apology here, waiting on a reconciliation attempt. This was a codependency attachment. So for those of you, because I know there's a lot of you who are asking, did they really love me? Okay, this was a codependency attachment, not a genuine love connection. All right, what's the overall outcome? Anything new coming in? Anything old coming back? What's the overall outcome for the Cancer collective? 7 of Swords reversed again. More than likely, an apology and a reconciliation attempt. More than likely. Yep. Yep. Whoops. Dropped it. Reconciliation attempt. Oh, man. Okay. More than likely a reconciliation attempt. And with this energy, what did I just get done telling Gemini? See, in order for a reconciliation to work out successfully, both people involved have to bring a new energy back to the connection. Both people involved. Not just one person, not just the other person, not just the person who did wrong. The primary law is the law of vibration. The secondary law is the law of attraction, which means what you attract and manifest depends on the vibration. All it takes is one person, just one, bringing the same vibrational energy back to the connection that was there the last time, and the same outcome will manifest that manifested last time. That's the reason why. How many of you have seen an on and off relationship turn on, stay on, and then become successful? How many of you have seen that? I haven't. I've never seen that, ever. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't happen, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's never happened. I'm sure it's happened somewhere out there in the ether of recorded history, just like I'm sure lightning has struck the same place 3 times at some point in recorded history, right? But it's not very common. What's the advice for Cancer? What's the advice? Well, hang on. Let me see if it's going to give me some wiggle room here. It's not been doing that lately. Now, hopefully that we're in Gemini season, I'll get a little bit more wiggle room for the advice. Okay, 10 of Cups reversed. All right, I'm gonna broaden this advice a little bit. At some point, at what point, I don't know. You tell me what point. But at some point between now and the rest of all eternity, you got to figure out when to draw the line and say, okay, you've shown me what it's going to be every time you come back into my life. You've shown me. You know how many? I had a client the other day that came to me for a reading, said we've been on and off since 2009. 2009, on and off. At what point do we say, okay, well, the same thing happened last time, and the time before that, and the time before that, and the time before that, and the time before that. You know what? If I do it again, the same thing probably going to happen again. It's probably what's going to happen. I should probably stop doing that then. If I keep playing the same game, I'm going to keep winning the same prize. At some point, that's one of the very few ways. There's only a couple of ways that you could actually end up bypassing your actual person. There's only a couple of ways that you can do that. And that's one of the ways. Is going round and around and around and around and around and around and around in a cycle with the wrong fucking person. All right. Leo. What messages do we have for Leo? What messages do we have for the Leo collective? Boom. Temperance. Some of you dealing with the Sagittarius. 2 more shuffles. 2 more. This deck's getting an attitude with me. Oh, shit. Drama. Drama. Okay. So is this somebody? Okay, this is weird. I'm trying to figure out if this is a past person or a new person, but this kind of has a lot of current energy in it with the Two of Cups here. So this is either somebody you're reconnecting with, or maybe new person, current person. This seems like somebody who's currently a part of your life. And with the 10 of Pentacles reversed, 10 of Swords, 9 of Swords, it looks like this is failing miserably. Miserably. And then we also got the beautiful little Tower card down here. So whether this is somebody that you had past history with that's coming back, or maybe a long-term current relationship that you've been with, or a new person who's just showed up in your life, this looks like a mess that you already know with the 5 of Wands, 9 of Swords, that I highly doubt this is going to survive the month of June. Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. For some of you, it could be a past person that you reconnected with. Possibly. Could be somebody at the workplace for some of you. Could be a Pisces for some of you. I also have Aquarius and Sagittarius here. Okay. There could be a suspected third party. There could be suspicions of a third party or accusations of a third party. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 7 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles. Definitely a lot of trust issues here. And mainly just a lot of fucking drama. And I think you're about to throw in the white towel on this here. A lot of secrets being kept, sneaky shadiness here. Well, dadgummit. What is the primary overall outcome for Leo? Let's see. Empress reverse. You and this person are not finding stable ground together. Could be a Taurus for some of you. Shit. Tower card again. Like I said, take it however it resonates. Whether this is a past person that came back, a new person you just recently connected with, or a long-term relationship that you've been in. I don't think that this is surviving 2024. For some of you, it doesn't even look like it's surviving the month of June. So, what's the advice? What advice do we have for Leo? Shit, man. 10 of Cups reversed. 9 of Swords again. 5 of Pentacles again. Don't try to force a connection with anyone. Anyone. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's your mama. I don't care if it's your daddy. I don't care if it's your brother. I don't care if it's your sister. I don't care if it's your auntie. Don't ever. Your cousin. Don't ever try to force a connection with anyone. That's all it's going to do for you. That's it. Does that look like fun? I don't know. Me personally, I hate this energy. I hate it. I despise this energy. If being connected to you makes me feel like this, fuck you. Later. I'm outie. Peace. I don't care at what cost. Find peace in your life. Okay? So, okay. All right. Damn, that was quick. Fuck, man. See, I packed up all the rest of my tarot decks, didn't I? Okay. All right. Who was that? Was that Leo? All right. Virgo. That was Leo, right? I think that was Leo. Okay. Virgo. Virgo, what messages do we have for the Virgo collective? Virgo, boom. Ooh, the 401s, new doorways of opportunity are opening for you. Finally, some of you have been waiting for new doorways of opportunity to open, and they're finally opening. Hey, y'all, how many of you are friends with me on Facebook? I know I got a few of you who follow me there, about 5,000 of you. But I posted today that we're in Gemini season, okay? You'll notice the pattern of the astrological wheel. It goes cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, okay? The mutable signs happen at the end of the season, okay? Gemini is a mutable sign. Mutable energy is the ending of the season. It's a card of change. Mutable signs happen at the end of the season, and that's the energy that manifests old cycles closing. And then the cardinal energy is the new cycle beginning, which in this case would be Cancer. So now that we're in Gemini season, old cycles are wrapping up and coming to a close. But Virgo, I do think that you're going to need to be on your P's and Q's, okay? Because you're going to be tested. You are going to be tested. Hang on, let me show you here in a second. I'm seeing new communication coming in. New communication coming in. And it's a test. You'll be tested. Because new doorways of opportunity are opening for you. And I'm thinking that you're going to connect with somebody that you catch real strong feelings for really, really quick. But something is seriously off. Something is seriously off. And you can feel it intuitively. Ace of Swords reverse, Seven of Swords. Communication's funky. Your intuition is telling you that something's a little bit weird. Something doesn't feel right. Something's a little bit off. Something's funny. It's a test. And you might catch feelings for this person real quick, but it's a test. It is a test. Especially for those of you who are a little bit more financially blessed than your average person. I know that's not all of you, but I know it's a couple of you. A little bit more financially blessed than your average person. And you're curious. You're feeling intuitively like this person may just be wanting to use you. Now, I'm telling you, your intuition, your spidey senses are tingling, man. Tingling. What's the overall outcome for Virgo? Overall outcome. Page of Wands. We already knew that. Last shuffle, last one. King of Swords. Page of Swords. Okay. There's that High Priestess again. So it looks like a really slow rolling ball. Whoever this is you connect with. Okay, you're connecting with them, all right. But your intuition is screaming. And something feels very off and very funny. So you're trying to kind of For the most part, keep it to yourself and try not to judge the situation. And you're stepping back and just trying to patiently see where this situation wants to go. But the tension is building and building and building and building, and you're starting to see some red flags that you've dealt with in the past. Could be a Sagittarius for some of you. Also have Pisces here. What's the advice? What is the advice for the Virgo collective? What's the advice? Oh, 9 of Wands reversed. So let your guard down slowly. Slowly. Pay attention. Well, first of all, be sure that you have very firm boundaries set. Okay? Common sense, common human decency boundaries. Pay attention to whether or not this person respects your boundaries. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. That's one. I would argue that that's probably one of the top 3 biggest red flags in the beginning. Okay? Is whether or not a person respects your boundaries. A question that I get very frequently is, how can I tell if I am being manipulated? I get that question a lot. And there's a simple answer. A person who is not trying to manipulate you will respect your boundaries, will respect your decisions. Even if that doesn't benefit them, they'll still respect it. A person who's trying to manipulate you will eventually end up throwing a fit when they don't get their way with you. Very simple. Very, very simple. So, but for those of you who do pass this test, don't fret, don't worry. Because you got blessings waiting for you on the horizon. You just have to demonstrate that you've learned your lessons first. You have to demonstrate it. We don't just get to sit around and talk about the lessons that we've learned. And we don't just get the luxury of getting to sit around and think about the lessons that we've learned. Whenever you went through a cycle that was meant to teach you a lesson, the universe is going to make sure that you demonstrate whether or not you learned that lesson. All right, Libra. 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 Oh, 7 of Pentacles, Judgment. Okay. Oh, so there's a situation that you're dealing with in which you're having a battle between ego and intuition. Yeah. So you're having a hard time figuring out whether or not you're intuitively picking up something about this situation, or if your ego's just fucking with you. You're having a hard time making that distinction. Now, so far here in this first spread, it's not really indicating to me one way or the other yet. So I'm not sure. But that's the biggest thing that I'm getting here. Now, I don't know who you dealt with. Here's another thing that it's not being clear about, whether or not this is a person from the past, a love interest, a new person, or a current person. It's not really telling me. I guess that's just take it however it resonates. But you're still having a hard time figuring out whether or not you're intuitively picking up something about this situation, or if you're just overthinking it. Some of you too are also contemplating what lesson you're supposed to learn from this situation. Looks like you're handling this pretty well though, but I'll tell you one thing I don't have. I don't have anything here that indicates a mutual love connection. The only cups I have on the table is the 4 of Cups in the reverse, which just means somebody that didn't want to pass up an opportunity. That's all that means. Yeah. Some of you dealt with a Sagittarius. I also have Taurus, Cancer, and Virgo here. All right. King of Swords. Well, okay, that's weird. What's the overall outcome for Libra with this situation? What's the overall outcome? Will there be a new start in love? Or, whoa, hang on. A bunch of cards just flipped around backwards. A bunch of them. Yeah, that's too many. Too many. All right. Overall outcome with this situation. Chariot, you're probably going to end up moving on from this. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of feeling like whatever this situation is, you're probably moving on from it and cutting this person out of your life. Some of you are also going to kind of go into hermit mode and just kind of be single and be alone for a little bit. What's the advice for Libra? What's the advice? Ooh, 2 of Wands. Well, So you are actually at a crossroads with this situation, which I'm sure you already know that because you've been standing in a crossroads this whole time. It is saying that if you do choose to keep this person in your life, the 2 of you could end up building something very successful and happy. But if you choose not to keep this person in your life, it's no big deal. Okay? There is somebody else out there who could step in and take this person's place and do an even better job than they could. So this is one of those types of things where it doesn't really matter which choice you make. You can either take this path and have this experience, or that path and have that experience. So see, here's one thing, and I've actually been seeing this a lot here in the past couple of months. See, I don't know if you know this or not, but your guides are always talking to you. Always. Always. And most people don't even realize it's their guides. You just think it's you. You think it's your own intuition. You feel like it's your own little inner voice. And in some cases it is, but in most cases it's your guides talking to you. Go this way. Take that path. Make this decision. Don't do that. Stay away from that person, right? Well, every now and then you'll approach a crossroads and the paths split off like this. And then they come back around like this. So basically, you'll be led back to the same point. In which case, it don't matter which path you take. You can take this path and have this experience, or you can take that path and have that experience. You're still going to come back to the same nexus point timeline, no matter what. The only difference is if you take this path, you'll be version A of yourself. And if you take this path, you'll be version B of yourself. And when it doesn't matter which path you take, your guides will take a step back. Your guides will back off and be like, okay, this one's on you. Make a decision. And since so many people are accustomed to feeling that inner nudge when they're not feeling it because their guides took a step back, they start freaking out. They're like, oh my God, dude, do you know probably 7 out of the last 10 Zoom call readings that I've done, like the one-on-one video call readings, 7 of the 10 that I've done, the last 10, the clients all said the same thing. I'm usually really, really, really good at deciphering my intuition, but for some reason I feel blocked. And you know what comes through? Not every time, but about 80% of the time, what comes through? You're at a crossroads and it doesn't matter which path you take. It doesn't matter. Because you're going to end up back at the same point anyways. So this one's on you. It don't matter, but you might want to make a decision pretty quick, because if you don't, yes, the universe will eventually end up kicking you onto one of the paths, ready or not. Ready or not. So, all right. Who was that? Libra? Scorpio. 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 What messages do we have for the Scorpio collective for the last week of May? Man, May's been a rough one, hasn't it? Good Christ almighty. May has been a very rough month. Very rough. Of course, y'all saw I put a video up the other day about just letting you in on a little bit of what's going on in our life. But man, it's just been this last closing out of this last cycle for the month of May has been exhausting. Very exhausting. Very exhausting. I mean, for me, this whole past year has been very exhausting, but especially the month of May has been so fucking exhausting, dude. All right. Woo! We got that Queen of Wands right there, though, Scorpio. Let's see what that's all about. Just to let you know, that does feel like your energy. Some of you could have possibly dealt with a fire sign, but that feels like you. Ooh. Somebody is giving the silent treatment here. Yep. So I'm seeing two things. I'm seeing past energy and new energy. I do feel like you are connecting with a new person, but there's also some past energy here. The past person is trying to give you the silent treatment. But honestly, deep down, you know that you're the one with the upper hand here. Yeah, you are. You know that. You know that. I think the person from the past does want to talk to you. They just don't know how to start a conversation with you. Because they already know they already know basically everything that you would have to say in response to everything that they have to say. So what that means is they have nothing new to say to you. You've already heard everything that they have to say. And since you're a fixed sign, you got the same fucking response that you had back then, right? I'm a fixed sign too, man. That's how we roll, isn't it? That's how we roll. You know? People sitting around waiting on a fixed sign to change their mind. No. Well, maybe you just needed some space. Yeah, I needed some space, but that don't mean I've changed my opinion. That don't mean I've changed my mind. No. The way I feel about it now is the same way I felt about it back then. Yup. No, you fucking me over is not okay now. No, it's not. I don't care what you was going through. You doing me dirty and stabbing me in the back is not okay now. No, I forgive you for it, but that don't mean you're going to come back up in my life. You got me fucked up. Some of you may have dealt with a person too. I got to throw this in there. Some of you may have dealt with a person who tries to shame and guilt trip you by telling you that you're holding a grudge. right? Why do you hold a grudge? That's what a toxic manipulator will do when they can't weasel their way back into your life. They'll try to shame you. You know, they'll try to shame you. Why are you holding a grudge? Look, dumbass. If my neighbor's dog bites my hand, I'm not petting that little fucker ever again. Fuck that dog. I forgive the dog. Maybe I was in a bad mood that day and it sensed my energy, or maybe it was abused, or maybe it was abandoned, and maybe whatever. Okay, I forgive the dog. But you bet your damn skippy ass I'm not putting my fucking hand nowhere near his head again. It ain't happening. You bit me in the past. I forgive you. I love you from a distance, but stay fucking gone, right? I'm not dumb enough to give you the chance to do that again. It ain't worth it. All right? Okie dokie. But like I said, I do see you, and I see you connecting with a new person, though. And it's not really saying much about the new person. All it says is a new love offer coming in. All this shit, though, and this shit, though, and this shit, and this shit, and this shit, and this shit, and this shit is all past energy. Let's see the overall outcome for Scorpio for the last week of May. Is there a deck I haven't used yet? No, there's not. Oh, I haven't used my Gilded Royale. I got to get a new Gilded deck, man. I'm not buying another new deck until I get back to Vegas, though. Probably the first deck I buy is going to be a new Gilded Tarot. All right. What's the overall outcome? Boom. Communication. Communication from whom? I'm thinking that whoever this next person is that's coming in, it's more than likely going to be long-term. But y'all are keeping it at communication for a little bit. Okay, so it's probably going to be something that kind of rolls a little bit slow, but it's going to be very abundantly clear very, very quickly that you can kick your running shoes off. You ain't going nowhere, they ain't going nowhere. And you're noticing that you and this person communicate. And again, I try to explain this. I just talked about this a few minutes ago, but the best communication is the kind of communication that doesn't require a bunch of verbal communication. Now, that doesn't mean that there is the absence of verbal communication. Maybe there is, maybe there's not, but it's not required. I don't need you to constantly keep reassuring me and giving me validation. I don't need that. It'd be nice, but I don't need it. Like I can already vibrationally feel you out, right? What's the advice for Scorpio? What is the advice? Yeah. So if you're wondering whether or not taking this slow is, like, for whatever reason, a bad decision, I don't know who would be asking that. I don't know why this is coming through, but no, that's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with playing things safe. Nothing wrong with that. But as far as the past, man, you gotta work on releasing and letting go of that energy. You gotta work on it. And you know what? One of the most efficient ways to do that is to transmute through the next person. So you can actually use the situation with the next person to transmute the energy from the past. Okay. I'll give you an example. In my last relationship, I discovered that I have childhood trauma that needs to be addressed. I have some abandonment and codependency issues. That's what I learned about myself from the past. So I'm going to take those things that I learned about myself from the past person, and I'm going to start integrating it and using it with this new person. And I'm going to do this with such dedication and consistency that it starts producing very positive results in my new relationship. And then once it starts producing positive results in my new relationship, I take those positive results, I take this new situation and I tie it to the past situation. Now I redefine the meaning behind why the past situation happened, and then I express gratitude. Now I see why that past person was meant to come into my life. It was meant to happen that way so that this relationship could happen this way. This relationship I'm in right now would not be successful if I wasn't in that last relationship with that past person. Thank you, universe, for bringing that past person into my life. I wouldn't have what I have now if I didn't go through that. Thank you, universe. The gratitude reinforcing the gratitude will eventually end up leading you to completely releasing it altogether. You can't be mad at something when you're glad it happened. That's when healing is really complete, is when you're glad it happened. That's the goal. The goal in healing is not to just let go, move on, and forget about it. That's not healing. That is hiding. The goal in healing is to be so thankful for what happened because you see the deeper meaning behind why it happened that you're glad it happened. That is called energy transmutation. All right, y'all. Sagittarius. 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 What messages do we have for the Saggy crew? Ooh, the Lover's card reverse. Some of you dealing with a Gemini. Let's see what's going on. Why is that Lover's card reverse? Two more shuffles. Two more. One and two. Okay, ooh, communication. Uh-oh, King of Cups reversed, man. All right, so yeah, this feels like communication from a past person. Yep, communication from a past person, but I think this is a very necessary conversation that needs to happen. Very necessary. Especially if it's been a while since you've talked to this person. 6 months ago, a year ago, year and a half ago, you haven't seen them or talked to them in a while. So you've had time to collect your thoughts. You've had time to relax and settle in and chill since you talked to this person last. Then they make a very brief reappearance back in your life. Very brief. Very brief. And you see that they still on the same old bullshit. And you're like, wow. It doesn't feel the same at all. At all. Even if you spent this whole time wishing you would hear from this person, painting a picture in your imagination of what it would be like to reconnect with this person. Then the universe puts you in that situation in real life, and it don't feel nothing at all like it used to. So you're discovering that whatever happened between you and this person put a permanent dent in the connection. Permanent dent. So yeah, somebody's connecting with you. Trying to play some games, trying to manipulate you, but you ain't that stupid. No love offer is being extended or accepted, and no new start is happening. This person's probably going to just make a brief appearance and is going to be in and out of your life. And you might end up a little bit disappointed, especially if you've been hoping and wishing that they've grown and evolved. I know y'all have heard me say this a million times. I'll say it 1,000,001 times. Most people never change. Most people do not. They do not. And it's heartbreaking. But if you just stop expecting so much out of other people, it gets easier to navigate these kind of situations. What's the overall outcome for Sagittarius? What's the overall outcome? 7 of Coins reversed, World card reversed. Okay. So I think you're going to clear the air with this person, but you're still going to kind of walk away from it very unsettled. Because deep down inside, you know, that it's not a genuine apology. It's not genuine closure. You know there was ulterior motives behind it, but at least you are able to release enough vibrational baggage from this situation that, bam, that will help you vibrationally align with your actual person. So I'm thinking that the universe is putting you in this situation for a very specific reason. Okay? A lot of times the universe will bring somebody back from your past for a reason. And the reason is so you can tie up loose ends, turn some unturned stones, right? Because you're not a vibrational match to your next soul contract, and it's time for your next contract to come in. What's the advice for Sagittarius? What's the advice? And don't ignore your intuition. Don't ignore it. Most of you don't. I don't know why that's coming through, but don't ignore your intuition. Devil card reversed. It would not be a very wise idea to give somebody the chance to fuck you over again. It wouldn't be a wise idea. Stand strong in your emotional independence and your emotional integrity. Stand very firm in your boundaries. Set boundaries and stand firm in those boundaries. Don't let anybody lie to you. Don't let anybody blow no smoke up your ass. Set boundaries and pay close attention. Remember what I was telling you all a minute ago. You can tell when somebody is trying to manipulate you. When somebody is not trying to manipulate you, they will respect your boundaries. They will respect your decisions, even if that doesn't benefit them. A person who is trying to manipulate you will get very pissed off, angry, and they will throw a fit when they don't get what they want from you. Okay? So even if this person does get angry, pissed off, and throw a fit, don't throw that energy back at them. Just silently cut them off. Because if you start exchanging energy with that person, then you've created even more karma. You're tied tighter to the karmic wheel, and now you have more vibrational baggage weighing you down. So the opportunity the universe was handing you was to release vibrational baggage. If they want to get nasty and shitty with you, that's on them. Let them create and hold that energy themselves. That doesn't mean that you have to throw it back at them. So let them go dig their own grave and sink their own ship on their own. You don't have to do that. Set your boundaries. Set firm boundaries. And if they get nasty with you, just cut them off silently. All right. Capricorn. What messages do we have for the Capricorn collective for the last week of May? What messages do we have for the Capricorn collective? Woo-hoo! Ready or not, you're starting a whole new cycle. Gemini season, y'all. Is the closing of the old cycle so that the new cycle can begin. Okay. All right. So you got new love coming in. You got new love coming in. Starting a whole new cycle. And what's Capricorn's favorite card? Shang-a-lang-a-bing-bang. You knew that was going to show up, right? So you got something new coming in, and from the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be pretty goddamn successful. Now, you know what that means, right? What happens when you start busting moves and start becoming successful? What happens? Losers get pissed off at you. There's somebody watching you and trying to figure out some way to sabotage your success. Every time, man. That's just the fucking success path. That's just the way it goes. Okay? You are no exception to that. Everybody who ever gets on any kind of path and starts experiencing any kind of success, there are going to be losers who are too fucking lazy to improve their own life. So they want to pull you off your path and down to their level. So I do kind of feel like somebody's probably going to try to start some drama in your life because they see you doing good. Man, they see you doing real good. Man, look at that. Look at that. All of a sudden, Capricorn is fucking balling, doing good. And now you got some little sneaky, snaky, pathetic little loser who's jealous of you and envious of you, and they're going to try to sabotage that. I don't think it's going to work, though. You can't sabotage the universe's plan. You can't. You can't. See, this is divinely planned for you. Can't nobody sabotage it. But here's where you have to be careful. And we're not even at the advice part yet, but I have to throw this part in there. Here's where you have to be careful. If somebody does try to sabotage you, they can't do it on their own. They can only sabotage you with your help. That's the only way they can sabotage you. How do you help? You get in there and start fighting and bickering and arguing with them and exchanging energy with them. That will sabotage you. They can't sabotage you on their own, though. They can try. And as long as you just keep your mouth shut, stay quiet, let them say whatever they want to say, let people think whatever they want to think, eventually they're just going to end up looking stupid. I have to say that. Well, we got the fucking outcome. Good God, man. Should we just stay on the advice? Yeah. See, this is a whole new cycle. Don't create any more karma. Don't try to control every little thing. Only take control of what you have control of. Again, it's kind of like in the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Understand what you have control of and what you don't. Okay? If you're dealing with a situation where somebody is pissed off at you because you're doing better than them, whether it's a jealous ex, or do you know, look, since Capricorns, since y'all are no stranger to the success path, you know that most of the time, who is your biggest hater? Most of the time, somebody close to you, right? Somebody really close to you is going to be your biggest fucking hater. You will discover that you have undercover haters in your close circle of friends and family. So Yeah, this is something, the path that you're on right now, like I said, ready or not, here it comes. But this is your divine path. Nobody can screw it up. They can only screw it up with your help. That's all they can do. That's all they can do. So when you start hearing rumors floating around about you, shh, quiet. Shh, quiet. Step back and see who blindly believes it. That'll tell you everything you need to know about who you need to keep in your life. Everything you need to know. Because think about it. If somebody really wants to know the genuine truth, they'll come to you and ask, right? Won't they? Think about it. Some of you have heard me make this analogy a million times, but this is important. This is very important because a lot of my Capricorns are going to start blowing up and their life is going to start getting real good soon. And there are going to be some people that are going to try to sabotage that. So think about this, okay? Bring to mind a picture of somebody that you love, somebody that you consider to be your people, somebody that you like, that you admire, that you look up to. You hear a rumor floating around about them, you don't want to believe it. You don't want to. You may even jump to their defense without any evidence to prove whether or not it's even true. Right? Now bring to mind a picture of somebody you don't really like. Somebody you can't fucking stand. Somebody that gets on your damn nerves. Somebody that maybe fucked you over. So just somebody you don't like. You hear a rumor floating around about them, you want to believe it, don't you? You want to believe that shit. Some of you may even jump on the bandwagon and keep that rumor going without any evidence to prove whether or not it's true. All right? But if you want to be as logical of a person as possible, aren't you going to try to dig in and find more information out about it at least? Right? So if a rumor starts floating around about you, step back and see who just blindly believes it. Those are people that you need to cut out of your life. Because anybody who wants to know the truth about you is going to come to you and be like, hey, look, I heard this happened, or you did this, or you said that. Is that the way it went down? What's that all about? Or at least they'll start digging in and asking questions and digging in to find out the truth, right? The people who don't do that, who just blindly jump on the bandwagon and believe a rumor about you, quiet. You don't need those people in your life anyways. I know that your automatic instinct is to want to get in there and defend yourself and tell your side of the story and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the people who want to believe it are going to believe it no matter what you say. And if they want to believe it bad enough, you defending yourself is going to make you even look even more guilty in their eyes. Right? All right. Who was that? Capricorn? Aquarius. What messages do we have for the Aquarius collective for the last week of May? What messages do we have? Oh, is that you, boo-boo? I'm starting to lose hope. Starting to kind of develop a negative outlook on things. Maybe for some of you, things just haven't been looking very good for a while. So your outlook on the future is not that great. Especially whatever this situation is that you're dealing with here. Maybe you're dealing with a fellow Aquarius possibly, but I really feel like that's your energy. Oh, we got that Queen of Cups, though. Yeah. See, you dealt with somebody who's very, very unreliable. Yeah, you dealt with a very immature, unreliable individual. Yeah. Hey, you got new love coming in, though. You absolutely got new love coming in, but you are still carrying the vibrational baggage of the past. Still carrying it. Some of you are just kicking yourselves in the ass because the person that you dealt with, I don't know if they were just really good manipulators or whatever the case may be, but whoever you dealt with was a very, very toxic, selfish, self-centered, unreliable individual with the Devil card and the Knight of Wands. Could be a fire sign for some of you. Could be a Capricorn. And you're just really kicking yourself in the ass. Impossible. Having a really hard time letting go of it. Having a really hard time letting go of it. See, here's the thing. You do have new love coming in, but this energy right here could potentially sabotage a new connection. Now, nobody knows that you're going through this. Nobody has a clue what you're going through, but you're having a real hard time letting go of this. Real hard time. Man, I'm going to tell you what, you got blessings on the horizon, though. King, Queen of Cups, Ace of Cups is what's coming in. But I'm not going to say that it's being blocked right now. I'm not going to say it's being blocked, but where'd it go? But this will slow things down big time. So you and that person are karmically tied. Could be a Scorpio for some of you. All right. Well, okay, that's weird. I didn't expect that. Let's see. How am I going to read this then? I guess let's see that person's actions, their feelings for you and their actions towards you. See how that person feels about the situation and if they're taking action towards you. Let's see. Whoops. What are their feelings and what actions are they taking? See, look. They're kind of fucked up about the situation too. They know they fucked up. They know they did. Oh, yes, they know they did. And you live in their fucking head, but they're too scared to talk to you. Okay. So it doesn't look like they're communicating. It does not look like they're communicating with you. All right. Well, what is the advice? What's the best advice for Aquarius? Thank you, Juan, for the super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you. What's the advice for Aquarius? Okay, well, so it's time for something new to come in. I'm going to tell you what, you might want to let that guard down. If you can't let your guard down, then it's not a very wise idea to even think about somebody new coming in. See, the energy that you bring to a connection is the energy that's going to manifest, okay? So what most people like to do, especially people who are very damaged, getting into relationships, they want to get into a relationship with their guard up and wait until the person proves that they're worthy before they let their guard down. And that's not a very smart idea because the universe is constantly handing you everything you need so that you can keep doing whatever it is that you're currently doing. So if you're entering into relationships with the energy of you being very guarded, you're going to attract people who match the frequency of you needing to be guarded. So what do you have to do in order to let your guard down? You have to stand strong in your emotional integrity. What that means is maybe you will fuck me over. Maybe I can't trust you. But you know what? I can still be vulnerable with you because I know where my heart is and I know what my intentions are. So if you fuck up your connection with me, you're the idiot, not me. You're the one who was so stupid that you had to ruin probably the best connection that you ever had with anybody. You're the dumbass, not me. So you have to be able to stand strong in that integrity. So I can be vulnerable with you. And I'm not tripping about whether or not you fuck me over. Because that's you. That's your problem, not mine. I can still sleep at night because I know what my intentions are. I know where my heart is. And so does the universe. And that's all that fucking matters. Right? So pay attention to that energy. Do the best that you can to do as much healing that you can from the past before you connect with anybody new. Because that's like driving a F-150 pick-em-up truck across a frozen lake, man. I'm going to tell you what. All right, Pisces. Pisces. What messages do we have for the Pisces collective for the last week of May? 3 of Wands. Somebody is waiting to hear from you. And you know what I got to ask when the 3 of Wands comes out? I got to ask it. Have y'all done this before? This is a past person waiting to hear from you. 2 and 3 of Wands. For some of you, I know it's not all of you, but some of you are involved in a toxic on and off connection. I know that's not all of you. So for those of you that doesn't resonate with, even if it hasn't been a toxic on and off connection, you know at a really, really, really deep level that if you do try to breathe life back into this connection, it's just going to repeat the same cycle. You know that. You know that it will be an on and off connection if you keep trying to feed energy to it. But I am thinking that you are going to be tested. You're going to be tested by one of 2 things. Either a past person coming back, or you are going to connect with somebody that's going to be basically the exact same thing you dealt with in the past. Could possibly be the same demon in a different body. Same situation, same scenario. You hear them spitting the same game. That the last person, just everything, you're going to be in a situation that vibrationally mimics what you went through in the past. Some of you dealt with a Scorpio, possibly. I also have Capricorn here and Taurus as well. What's the overall outcome for Pisces for the last week of May? Overall outcome. Woo-hoo! 7 of Swords reversed. You gonna pass that test with flying colors, ain't you? Yup. See, you're gonna be tested. And I think the majority of you are passing this test with flying colors. Again, a lot of you are gonna end up being faced with a reconciliation attempt. It's either going to be a reconciliation attempt with a past person, or the universe is going to bring you just a different version of the same person you dealt with in the past. And bam, you ain't playing that game this time. So once you pass a test, once the universe puts you in the same situation you were in the past, and you do something different than you did in the past, that's when you're rewarded with something different. Does that even need any advice? The advice is don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared to walk away. Don't be afraid. See, a big part of the spiritual path, of the evolutionary path, the manifestation path, or just the path of improving your fucking life, is knowing when to throw in the white towel and pick and choose your battles wisely, very wisely. Not every battle is a very wise battle to fight on your way up the mountain. Oh no. Matter of fact, I would probably say the majority. I would say probably upwards of 60 to 70% of the battles that you will be faced with are not battles that you should fight. Because if you're making your way up the mountain and you're at the bottom of the mountain, why would you want to win that battle anyway? Think about it. Think about that. Why would you want to win a battle at the bottom of the mountain? If you want to let somebody be the king of the bottom of the mountain, let them have that title. Okay, you can have this one. I'm going up this way. You win. You can be the king of rock bottom if you want. I'm going up this way. Don't be afraid to throw in the white towel and walk away when the universe is making it abundantly clear that this situation is never going to change. When you repeat a cycle and repeat a cycle and repeat it 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 and repeat it, eventually at some point we have to step back and say, okay, the universe is trying to tell me something. Obviously, the universe is trying to show me that this is just how it's going to fucking be. So learning to distinguish when it's appropriate to throw in the white towel and walk away. Now, that doesn't just mean give up on every little thing whenever a problem arises. That's not what that means. What that means is learn to distinguish the difference between when you need to put forth more work and effort to make something happen and when you are fighting a losing battle against the universe and backsliding. Learn to distinguish that difference. All right? Okie dokie, I do feel like those were the messages that all my signs of the zodiac needed to hear for the last week of May. So I am going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you all so much for tuning in and playing along once again. I greatly appreciate y'all, man. I do. So, yeah, don't forget to check in the description of the video if you would like to find out how to schedule a personal reading. And I'm going to get out of here now, y'all. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.